There's a message within yourself that is ready to come forward, that is ready to be seen. But it involves you being willing first to both tune into yourself and listen. Today, I'm going to play the role of mirror. I'm going to play the role of confirmation with you as you connect to yourself, as you see beyond the mask that has been in place. Oh, it's pretty fun to play this role with you. So, in that spirit, I'm going to invite you to look at these next few minutes as an experiment experience in deeply connecting with yourself and how easy it can be for confirmation and reflection to reach you in your life. Now, that being said, I'm Danielle Lynn. I'm a reality experimenter who connects with super cool cats such as yourself across time and space. I've been playing with the field of reality for over a decade, and it's an honor to talk to you right now, whether it's our first time or millionth time. Let's dive in with your message today. One of the keys that's coming up to reflect is that there is a shadow side to things like spiritual improvement and self-improvement. And that shadow side can be constantly seeking either confirmation or validation for a state, or constantly be on this wheel of thinking there's something to fix first before we're allowed to engage in life. I'm bringing forward this simple reflection to say, what if you don't actually need to fix or solve or resolve anything else before you're allowed to directly engage with life right now? What if you have done the integration work, and certainly there may still be things that you are working through, but you don't have to try and press the pause button on life to work with these experiences, and that perhaps it's your willingness to engage in the field of life that will actually assist you in integrating and moving through the things you once perceived as blockages, inviting you, me, and all of us to come back into our centers and answer the question of what does it feel like and look like when we walk the integrated path, when we allow ourselves to move with authentic motion, not driven from what we think we need to do or rooted in fear or scarcity or compulsion, not just listlessly without any grounding or direction, but emerging of these ways of being. I know that you have the capacity. I know that you have the connection points within. Here is something else to consider. During this time, you are likely expanding your capacity. You are ready for connections that are rooted in mutual respect, mutual values, and coming together on shared vision. But perhaps there's still a little bit of lingering doubt, unknowing, pain, or just a sting from previous encounters. Or perhaps you're aware that you want to call something resonant in, but you're just not fully sure how. You have indeed clarified your field enough that you genuinely will not tolerate, I was going to say insubordination, but you're generally not going to tolerate relationships that are out of balance anymore. You're arriving at a juncture where you realize you're not going to connect with wholeness if you keep giving pieces of yourself away to others or situations in an attempt to create balance or fit in or bring cohesiveness. You're opening yourself up to genuine power, but there's maybe still a little bit of uncertainty of how to proceed from here. Perhaps in the past, the approach has been do nothing or take an entire blowtorch to it. But there are more specific, more subtle yet effective ways that are presenting themselves to you in your life. There may still be echoes that say something along the lines of, I'm not willing to open myself up to that level again, even though there's simultaneously a part of you that would enjoy having a deep, authentic connection. But what you might have done is you might have put a lot of barriers in for that to happen. I get the image of like, yeah, we can hang out if you get through the alligator pit and the field of lasers to get to me, then yeah, sure, we can hang out. These defense mechanisms, while they might make sense to you, might create this sense of, okay, that's the way that I can see if I can let someone through, may be what they would call overkill. Might be a lot of energy to meet with people, beings, or opportunities that actually might be a resonant fit for you at this time. Vulnerability begins with the self. I'll say that again. We start with vulnerability within the self. If you genuinely want to connect with another, you must be willing to connect with yourself first. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to keep doing work, diving in, be in a perpetual cycle of fixing or figuring it out. What I'm actually suggesting is something a little different. What I'm suggesting is, instead of actually continuing the perpetual cycle of trying to fix and heal yourself or figure yourself out, maybe consider that that could be one of the ways you are actually preventing yourself from moving forward. Perhaps the invitation, however, is more of a call of, even if it feels on some level terrifying to you, to step forward and engage with life and connect. What could be a step from here that you take to not only connect with yourself, but to connect with life? To invite yourself to step just beyond your comfort zone, so that instead of perpetuating patterns of staying in place which mimics safety, you are giving yourself the space to pierce through and beyond the pattern and invite yourself into a new trajectory in life. Sometimes people will ask, well, how do I do it? This is a technique of the mind to pull you back into thinking. Any kind of, well, I need to plan first, I need to think about it, I need to sort this. These are all clever strategies to keep you in the same cycle. And so really, the way through his movement. So with that spirit, I'm going to invite you to do an experiment with me right now, if you so choose. So when it is safe and resonant to do so, I want to invite you to check with yourself first, because please only do this if it's going to be healthy, safe, and all those good things for you. And if so, I'm going to invite us into movement right now. Deliberate movement. We're doing it live. All right. So the first thing that I like to do is just take a few breaths. Connect with yourself in this moment. We're going to do that together. So we're going to take some breaths in and feel what it feels like, especially in your gut area. Because this is often the place where the energy gets a little bit stuck. It's usually the gut, the heart, or the head. Those are like the three main zones. But this time we're focusing on the gut, because the gut is one of the power centers of the body, and it's the cauldron. It's where we digest, where a lot of power comes from, right? So here's what we're going to do. Notice how I'm already starting to move my hips. This is not just a funky dance move. What I'm doing is I'm creating a circle with my hips. Now, once again, you know your health better than anything else. If you have any spinal things, etc., use your best wisdom before you do something like this. And what I'm doing right here is I'm drawing a circle with my hips. We store a lot of emotion in the hips. We store a lot of energy in motion in the hips. And when we're engaging ourselves by simply creating circles right here, it's almost like we're building a little bit of movement and momentum. We're engaging a bit of our core, a bit of our spine, a bit of our legs. I'm going to invite us to go the other direction now. I'm going to switch it up. Okay. Notice how you feel. And as you're doing this, breathe. Breathe into this place, in this area. Do you notice any laughter? Do you notice grief? You may be moving emotion that's actually in these places, that may be locked in the pelvis or the hips. It's a bit wild. Now, as you're breathing in a bit, nice big breath, breath out. Say to yourself out loud or inward, if you're in a place, exactly how you feel right now, exactly the authentic feeling you are feeling. Doesn't need to be a happy feeling, a bad feeling. You could be like, this is stupid, this is great, I feel sad, I feel weird, whatever it is. See if more feelings come out. See if more words come out. See if as you're doing this, things want to be voiced and said. See if you can imagine your voice directly connecting to your pelvis, and you start saying things. Let's pause a moment. Take another breath. Connect with yourself. How do you feel right here? You feel a tingling in this area? How do you feel? Right now, you've put yourself in a bit of motion and you connected that with something visceral. In this case, we spoke a bit. We allowed ourselves to speak some emotions outward. We connected a physical movement with an action or a step. That is as simple as it can be to free up locked energy. A lot of the disconnection we feel is really disconnection from the self. It may appear to be disconnected from the outside, from certain communities and et cetera, but the truth is we can be alone without being disconnected. You can be in aloneness and feel deeply connected with the world. You could be around a lot of people and feel deeply isolated and lonely. You could feel misunderstood. So as you can see, the connection has nothing really to do with how many people are around you or not. This is more about authentic perceiving and being perceived. In order for someone to truly see you and listen to you, I find it's quite helpful to be able to first perceive yourself authentically, to listen to yourself, to be able to hear and express what is authentic for you. Because a lot of times what we're really looking for is a witness, someone maybe who could validate what we're feeling, seeing, experiencing in our lives. But what some people don't realize is you can authentically give that to yourself. Like you can authentically see and perceive and integrate with yourself. You are just that powerful. And as you do that, a couple things happens. One is you free up an enormous amount of energy. A lot of fragility comes from feeling as though we're holding a lot of delicate feelings and plates, and we're doing so in a very convoluted way. And so we unconsciously resist any energy coming in or any possible disruption because we feel I can't handle anymore is what we say. We feel like everything's just going to collapse and shatter. And so when we start to move, in essence, part of what we're doing is we're transmuting that. It's almost like transmuting the glass, the delicate glass shards almost into water. It's almost like you discover it's actually ice and you're starting to melt it. And instead of shattering everywhere, it's just starting to drip. It's starting to dissolve. It's like you're dissolving something. And then suddenly you're just kind of, oh, yeah, wow, I have a lot of space. Oh, you're going to throw a ball at me? Caught it. Right. And so, in terms of your connection with yourself, This also correlates back to your connection with others. In the same way, if you don't feel like you have capacity, if you're handling all these things, you may not feel the capacity for connection with others, but then as you're integrating that, suddenly capacity. Seems like magic, but it's really quite practical. One of the things that's rising right now as a discussion point, I'm talking about this a lot in the lab, the self-alchemy lab. You can explore that in my description link, is we're talking about nervous system. In fact, at the time of recording this, we're about to do a nervous system reset. And one of the reasons the nervous system came up as such a potent thing to look at this time is many of us may not have tended to our nervous system. Our nervous system can influence a lot of our decisions. It can influence the way that we move or don't move. And it's often, you could say, built or programmed into our early age. Sometimes we can even inherit patterns from our parents. And that's not to say we're here to blame the parents. We're just being aware of what is right now. We're being aware of the tools we're working with or we're not working with. And so I'm going to highlight for you at this time exploring things having to do with the nervous system and moving your body. I'm going to invite you to explore that part of your journey of discovery with yourself can be as simple as it's not that you have to keep pausing to fix, but that integrating daily intentional movement while you're being present with yourself and allowing yourself to feel iteratively daily may do tremendous work for you in a way that almost seems like stupid easy. And so, my friend, I'm going to invite you to listen to one more thing. I'm going to share with you something I have written in my book. Daring Truths. I have wanted to run from seeing myself. I am now making choices to see the truth of myself, to see what matters and where I might have been hiding. So, where have I chose performance and form over integrity? I am ready to call myself home. I am here to operate as my core integrity, embody what I want to see in the world, walk my talk, my life as an example of what I wish to see. Work with those committed to a similar harmonic, be discerning, act swiftly, be willing to experiment experience. Hold core integrity, then proceed. How can I gracefully and authentically lead, even while I adjust? How can I embody appropriate leadership? I will take the steps, comfortable or uncomfortable, aligned with the world I choose to see. What does the discomfort say? I simply invite you to experiment with some really deliberate journaling with yourself. I get the sense that if you sat with yourself and really wrote out some of the core things you're feeling, like do some movement in your body and really write out what you're feeling, you're going to have some really powerful messages come through for yourself at this time. Now, if you want to go deeper with this work, at the time of recording this, we're about to do some integrative nervous system work in the Self-Alchemy Lab. I also invite you to simply sign up for the newsletter. I send out cool things every now and again, and I like to share perspectives with anyone who's tuning in. All right, my friend, it's been an honor to connect with you, to co-create and to explore. I'm really looking forward to our next conversation.